Cold email is the harshest environment to test a offer in. And it's also the best way to reach your entire market in a short time frame, because you can easily send out 100,000 emails per day and reach your entire market, everyone who might possibly buy, every 30 days. TAM reached every 30 days. Now let's say you input your offer here, right? And you have some sort of guarantee because it's cold traffic and they don't trust you. Then you will, this will crush, and you will know what problem is the most receptive to your market. Because guess what you can do in email? You can just create split tests, and you can create 3 variants of this campaign where you say problem 2 and problem 3, and then you just see which one got the best reply rate. All right. So let's say this one got 2%, and then this one gets like 5%, and this one got 10%. Obviously, you now know, if everything else stayed the same, that problem 3 is probably the most relevant if you send it to the same amount of people. Obviously, make sure the tests are similar, because if you only send 10 emails here and 100,000 emails with this one, then that data doesn't mean anything. Script 1 might be better, but you just don't know. All right? And talking about reply rate, this is the first step. All right? You have reply rate, you have positive reply rate, you have your whole sales funnel. Okay? But the Polaris star metric, that's how I learned to call it, like the most important metric in your entire system is the following. It's CAC, and that means customer acquisition cost. And I want to make this very clear. Let's say you have V1, V2, and V3 as your campaigns, and V1 gets a 1% reply rate, and V2 gets a 10% reply rate. Let's just leave it at 2, just so I can make the point clear very easily. Now, this one might close at 60%, and this one closes at 10%, which means maybe your CAC here is lower than it is here. So which one of these wins? Obviously, it's the first one, right? Because your customer acquisition cost is lower. So if you can charge the same amount of money and get a lower customer acquisition cost, it doesn't matter what metrics you have. And as long as your CAC to LTV, or let's turn this around, so you have LTV to CAC is 3:1, right? If it's at least that, then your customer acquisition cost is low enough for you to be able to just scale the amount of emails you send every day. All right? And that's why you can start with something like 1,000, 2,000 emails per day. You can set this up very easily. But if you have a proof of concept that gets you a customer acquisition cost that is profitable for you, then you can just add 3 zeros here and make 3 times more money, or even more, 100 times. I don't know. Just way more money. All right? And so that's why it's important to know why people even take action, to remove the friction, how to make the demo videos. Then you know, if you have a cold traffic offer, you put that into multiple variants where you test different stuff. 3 is not enough, by the way. I would test 20, 30 things at once. And then you find out not what your best reply rate is or whatever, but you find something that gives you a low customer acquisition cost, because then you can scale. And if you want to go even harder, you get a 3:1 in the first 30 days. This just allows you to scale like crazy. So if you can make a 3:1 ROI on your acquisition cost in the first 30 days instead of over the lifetime, then that's just even better, right? So if you charge $1,000 a month, costs you $300 to get a client, that would be awesome. But sometimes, even if it costs you $1,000 to get a client and they pay you $1,000 per month, but the average customer stays 6 months, then that's also fine. All right. And so this is why cold email is the best tool, because sending 100,000 outreaches a day with anything but cold email is very hard. Okay. You can get the same offer out in LinkedIn DMs, but it won't nearly reach as many people. Same with cold call. And yes, I would still do all if you want, because cold calling gives you a faster feedback loop, while cold email reaches more people, right? So you can test both at the same time with the different offers and different scripts to just see what sticks. And then you just scale what works. And you know what works by the customer acquisition cost.